I graduated with decent grades and a job offer from a small magazine in Delhi that specialized in rural development stories. The salary was modest, but the work felt meaningful. I would be traveling to small towns and villages, writing about innovative farmers, dedicated teachers, young entrepreneurs who were finding ways to create opportunities without leaving their communities behind. My parents came to Delhi for my graduation ceremony, their first trip outside our home state. They looked overwhelmed by the city, but proud beyond words as they watched me walk across the stage to receive my degree. My father wore his best shirt, the one usually reserved for weddings and religious festivals. My mother carried a small bag of prasad from our local temple, offerings she planned to make at the university's temple in gratitude for my success. Beta, my father said as we sat in my hostel room the night before they returned to Madas. You have made us very proud. But more than that, you have made yourself into someone who can make a difference in this world. My mother nodded, her eyes bright with unshed tears. Just remember that making a difference doesn't always mean changing the world. Sometimes it means changing one person's world, or helping one family see new possibilities. Now, 5 years after graduation, I find myself thinking about those words often. I'm still working as a journalist, though I've moved to a larger publication with a wider reach. I've traveled to dozens of small towns across the country, each one reminding me of Madas in different ways. I've interviewed teenage girls who dream of becoming doctors, young men who want to start tech companies in their villages, parents who are learning to balance tradition with their children's ambitions for something different. I've also learned that leaving home is not a one-time decision. Every day, I choose how to carry Madas with me. I send money home each month, not out of obligation, but out of love. I call my parents twice a week, sharing stories from my work and listening to news from the neighborhood. When I visit home, which I do several times a year, I try to bring back something valuable, not just gifts, but ideas, connections, possibilities. Last year, I helped organize a career counseling workshop at my old high school. Mrs. Lakshmi, now retired but still sharp as ever, introduced me to the current batch of students as living proof that dreams and hard work can take you anywhere. Standing in that familiar classroom, looking at faces that reminded me of my younger self, I felt the circle of my life completing itself in a way I hadn't expected. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? One student asked during the question period. I thought about it for a moment, realizing that for the first time in my adult life, I wasn't entirely sure. The future felt full of possibilities rather than predetermined paths. I don't know exactly, I admitted. Maybe I'll be running my own media company. Maybe I'll go back to school and become a teacher like my mother. Maybe I'll move back to Madas and start a newspaper here. The beautiful thing about leaving home is that it teaches you that you can always come back, but you'll never be the same person who left. Another student, a girl who reminded me strongly of myself at that age, raised her hand. Do you ever regret leaving? Never, I said without hesitation. But I also never regret coming from here. Madas taught me everything I needed to know about work, family, community, and resilience. Delhi taught me how to apply those lessons in a bigger world. The combination made me who I am. As I write this, sitting in my small apartment in Delhi, I can see both my past and my future stretching out before me like parallel roads. On my desk sits the photograph of the banyan tree from home, alongside press passes from assignments across the country, business cards from sources and colleagues, and a half-finished application for a master's program in international journalism. I am 27 years old now, no longer the frightened girl who boarded a bus in Madas with a patched suitcase and a heart full of dreams she couldn't quite articulate. But I'm not entirely different from her either. I still wake up early, still call my parents every Sunday at 7, still buy jasmine flowers on Fridays. I still believe that curiosity has no boundaries, as Mrs. Lakshmi taught me all those years ago. The girl from Madas carries her small town with her wherever she goes, but she's no longer contained by it. I've learned that home isn't a place you leave behind. It's a foundation you build upon. Every story I write, every person I interview, every small town I visit, adds another layer to who I am, but the base remains the same. The values my parents taught me, the resilience I learned from watching them, make a good life with limited resources, and the deep understanding that everyone deserves the chance to explore their full potential. Sometimes, late at night when Delhi feels too big and impersonal, I close my eyes and imagine I can smell the jasmine growing wild near the banyan tree. I think about my parents probably getting ready for bed in the house on Banyan Street, and I feel grateful. for their courage in letting me go, for their wisdom in helping me stay connected to home, and for the small town that taught me that big dreams and deep roots can coexist in the same heart. This is my story. A small-town girl who learned that the world is both larger and smaller than she had ever imagined, that leaving home can be an act of love rather than abandonment, and that the best adventures begin when you stop being afraid of becoming someone new, while honoring who you've always been.